हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धेर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वञ्च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Arjuna does beautiful stuti of Bhagwan. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayas Sarve Devarshirnaradathatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishimi. And Arjuna requests Bhagwan that please reveal your yoga and vibhuti. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutincha janardana bhuyak kathaya traptirhi shrunvato nasti me mritam. I want to listen to it again. They are like amrit. So Bhagwan tells Arjuna that Vistarena, in detail I will not be able to tell, but I will tell you the pradhanya, the main vibhutis. And Bhagwan in this 20th shloka reveals that beautiful vibhuti, our own self, this pratyagatma, the atma which we experience in our own body, the innermost self, which remains alone, separated from the gross body and the subtle body in deep sleep, but which is present in waking dream and which has to be recognized as Brahma. This Pratyagatma itself is Brahma. This Pratyagatma itself is Turiya Atma. Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, in his beautiful shloka, conveys the same meaning, that Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram Yahamahamiti Sakshadatma Rupena Bhati Hridivisha Manasaswam Chinvata Manvata Va Pavana Chalana Rodhat Atmanishto Bhavatvam. That all pervading supreme Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is in our own heart as our own self. One should dive deep within and recognize that self and gain abidance in that self. Atmanishto bhavatvam. If this is difficult, then we can practice meditation on other vibhutis of Bhagwan. Because Bhagwan alone is present in everything. Bhagwan says, Aham adishcha madhyancha bhutanam anta evacha, that I am in the beginning, the middle and end of all beings. Bhagwan reveals his vibhutis. He says, Adityanam aham Vishnuhu, among the Adityas. The 12 Aditya Devatas are there. The Devatas of the 12 seasons. See, when we look at the sun appears different to us throughout the year. Every month, the sun appears different because the earth rotates around the sun, not in a circular but in an elliptical orbit. And at times the earth is far away from the sun, at other time it is very close to the sun. And depending on the position of the earth and the sun appears different. And due to this, there are different seasons. So there are 12 different ways in which the sun appears. And they are occupied during that time by these 12 Aditya Devatas. And among them, Vishnu Devata is the one who destroys all enemies, all Rakshasas. So Bhagwan says, I am Vishnu Aditya. And among luminaries, Bhagwan says, I am the sun. And among all the Marut Ganas, there are those 49 different types of wind. Bhagwan says, I am Marichi. Then Nakshastranam Aham Shashi. Among all the nakshatras, the 27 nakshatras, Bhagavan says, I am the moon. Meditate on me as the moon. Vedanam Samavedosmi. Among the Vedas, I am the Samaved. And among all the Devatas, I am Indra. Indra Devata. Devatanam Devanam Asmi Vasavaha. And Indriyanam Manaschasmi. Among all the Indriyas, I am the mind. Mind is very powerful. Mind controls all the Indriyas. All our senses, they merge into the mind when we are dreaming, or when we are asleep, in deep sleep. And the mind is called the 11th Indriya. So Indriyanam Manaschasmi, I am the mind. And Bhutanam Asmi Chetana, among all beings I am the Chetana, the expression of that Supreme only in the mind intellect as Chetana. Just like the reflection of the sun is seen in the water shines. Similarly, because of the presence of that Supreme Self, the Buddhi shines when we are awake and dreaming. That is the Chetana. Then further, Bhagavan gives some more vibhutis in verse number 23. Let us chant. Rudranam Shankaraschasmi Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Merushikharinamaham. Bhagavan says, among Rudra Devata. See, we have seen that these Aditya Devatas are there 12, then Rudra Devatas are there 11, then Vasu Devatas are there 8, then we have Indra and Prajapati. So these 33 main Devatas. So among them, Bhagavan gives his own vibhuti. He says, among the Rudras, I am Shankara. Shiva, Shankara. Shankarotiti, one who blesses everyone, is called Shankara. See, these Rudra Devatas are mentioned in our Puranas. And different Puranas, they convey it slightly differently also because of the different kalpas in which these Devatas they express. So, in Vishnu Puran, it is mentioned that when Brahma became angry, from him emerged Shiva as Ardhanarishwar, and that Ardhanarishwar Shiva further divided himself into 11 Rudra and 11 Rudrani. 11 male Devata Rudra and their Shakti Rudrani. As the Rudras are named there as Manyu, Manu, Mahamasa, Mahan, Shiva, Rutudhvaja, Ugraretas, Bhava, Kama, Vamadeva, Dhratavrata. So the Shiva or Shankara is one of the Rudra. So this Rudra Devatas are very powerful, very, very terrible. And then the Puranas, they say, Brahma, he allotted the place for them to stay in our own Antakarana. So the Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, and the Mana, the mind, are the places where the Rudra Devatas they reside. When they get angry, they are terrible like. But when they are sober and peaceful, they are calm and peaceful. Yeah, even they considered that Ashwatthama as avatar of one of the Rudra only. So this Rudranam Shankaraschasmi. Bhagavan says, I am expressing as all these devatas, and I am expressing as the Rudra Devata also, and among them I am Shankara. So Rudranam Shankaraschasmi. Then Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam. Then there are Yaksha and the Rakshasas. Other beings are there. They are called Yaksha and Rakshasa. And among them, the Bhagavan says, I am Vittesha. Vittesha is Kuber. Kuber was the king of Lanka, but then Ravan came and fought with him and sent him away, and he himself became the king of Lanka. Kuber is the devata of wealth. He has got a lot of wealth. So Kuber, Vittesha is Bhagwan's Vibhuti. One can meditate on Kuber. Take support of Kuber to meditate on Ishvara. So all the time we have to meditate on Ishvara alone. These Vibhutis are like support for us to meditate on Ishvara. So among all the Yaksha Rakshasas, the Vittesha Kuber is Bhagwan's Vibhuti. Then Bhagwan says, Vasunam Pavakaschasmi. Then there are these 8 devatas called Vasu Devata. The Pancha Mahabhut, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Then the Chandrama, the Surya and the Nakshatras are called Vasu Devata. Vasu means where all the beings reside. So we reside in these 5 elements. Different types of beings, they reside in these 5 elements, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. There are beings who reside on the moon or on the various satellites, and they reside on the sun, and they reside in the various nakshatras. See, the science is still trying to search for living beings in other places. But here in our Shastra, they say that they are existing in other nakshatras also. See, our own galaxy is so vast, billions of stars are there, and in those billions of stars, so many planets must be there, and so many planets must be at the right position with respect to the respective sun, and may have different types of living beings there also. So not only in our galaxies, but in other galaxies also, there might be many different types of living beings. So all these galaxies, they are called Vasu. They are also Vasu. Then the sun and the moon is Vasu, and the Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi are Vasu. So among all these Vasus, Bhagavan says, I am Pavakaha, the Agni, fire. See, there is a story in Mahabharata also about these Vasus, that they are the Devatas, and once one of the Vasu, his wife, saw that Kamadhenu, the cow, and wanted that cow. So she told her husband that I want that cow. So that husband, along taking help of his brothers and all, he stole that cow. But that cow belonged to Vashishta Rishi. So Vashishta Rishi, when he came to know these Vasus have stolen his cows, so he cursed them that all of you will be born as human beings. So they then requested Ganga Mata that you please be our mother and release us from this curse. So Ganga Mata, she said yes. So Shantanu married Ganga and gave birth to all these Vasus. And Ganga had told Shantanu, the Purvaj of these Kauravas, that you should not question me, whatever I do. So when a child was born, she used to drown that child into her own waters. And Shantanu did not say anything. So 7 children were drowned. Then the 8th one, she was about to drown. That time Shantanu could not bear this and he said, "Oh, what are you doing? You should not do this." So Ganga did not drown that child, but she said, "Now you have broken the promise, so I am leaving you and going." So that child who was born from Ganga is Bhishma Pitamaha. He is one of the Vasus. He is the Vasu related to Akasha, Prabhas, and he remained as human being, experiencing the result of the curse. So such stories are there in our Puranas, very interesting. And all of you should, whenever you get a chance, you should read these stories. They are very fascinating because we have such vast literature. If we don't read them, that is a great loss. So we have these 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas, and they are filled with a lot of these stories of these Devatas, and they are interesting and they teach some lessons to us. So Bhagavan says, Vasunam Pavakaschasmi, among all the Vasus, I am Pavakaha, the Agni, Agni Devata. So one should worship, one should through Agni meditate on Ishvara. See, Agni is something which we can invoke anytime. It's the most fascinating. Fire is the most fascinating thing and very scary also. If that fire goes out of control, very difficult. And all the birds, animals, all beings, they are quite afraid of fire. Even the wild animals and all, they can't, they just don't know what it is. Everyone is afraid. Fire consumes everything. Fire always rises up, very powerful, with heat and light. When it is unmanifest, we don't experience it. But when it manifests, we see the glory of that fire. So one can worship Ishvara as fire. Even the various Havan and Yajna we do, we invoke the Devatas in that fire and offer our offerings in that fire. The fire is like the mouth of the Devatas. So whatever you want to offer to the Devatas, you offer it through the fire. Fire is also the witness of all our karmas. So before we do any karma, ritual, important ritual, then we first light fire. So fire witnesses all these karmas. Ultimately, our body is also offered to fire. So throughout the life, whatever work we have done through this body, it is witnessed by fire, and finally the body itself is consumed by fire. So that fire is Bhagwan's Vibhuti. One can meditate on fire as Ishvara. So Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Merushikharinam Aham. Then again our Puranas, they talk about Meru Parvat. This is a mountain described in our scriptures. Exactly where it is, we don't know. There is this huge mountain which is considered as the center of this entire universe, entire cosmos. Even the sun, along with all the planets, revolves around this mountain. And everything revolves around this mountain. It is the center of everything, Meru Parvat. It is considered to be a huge mountain, about 10 lakh kilometers tall. Some believe that the top of that mountain might be that Kailash Parvat, but we don't know exactly. Even in Buddhism, Jainism, and other religions also, they have they talk about this mountain. So Bhagwan says, among all these mountains, I am the one the mountains which have got a top, Shikhar. Among all the mountains which has a top, I am that Meru. Say when we do japa with the japamala, there are 108 beats usually in the japamala, and then 109th bead is slightly larger and is considered as Meru Mani. And when we do japa, we after every mantra we move that bead, and when we again come back to the Meru Mani, we have to again turn back and count the beads in the opposite direction. One should not transcend the Meru. There is nothing beyond the Meru. The japa is done so that we reach the Meru, the top, the Shikhara, the ultimate, the supreme. And that supreme is Ishvara only. So in a way, Ishvara himself is that Meru around whom the entire creation as though moves. Everything revolves around Bhagwan only. Even when we go to the temple, we take a round of Bhagwan. We do pradakshina because everything moves around Bhagwan. And everything ultimately merges into Bhagwan. They may move far away, but ultimately have to come to Bhagwan. He is the center. He is the main. So Bhagwan says, I am Meru. Meru Shikharinam Aham. It's considered as a golden mountain with lots of rubies and other jewels and all. One can meditate on that Meru Parvat as Bhagwan. So Meru Shikharinam Aham. Then further, Bhagwan says, Purodasancha mukhyam mam vidhi partha brahaspatim senani namaham skandaha sarasamasmi sagaraha. Bhagwan says, some more vibhutis, कि पुरोधसाम च मुख्यम माम विद्धि पार्थ बृहस्पतिम. Bhagavan says, among the Purodhasam means Purohit, Raja Purohit. See, we have this Purohit who are knowers of our Shastra and especially knowers of the various rituals. So if you want to do any ritual, you take support of these Purohits, because we may not know all the mantras, we may not know all the upacharas. And the most fascinating thing about the Vedic ritual, that we not only can do it ourselves, but somebody else can do in our name, and we get the result. That system is there. So one who does the ritual in our name is the Purohit. So he does the ritual in the name of the Yajaman, in whose name it is done is called Yajaman. So Purohit, that word also Purohit, means Puraha Hita, one who thinks of the Hita of the one who is there in front of him, means the Yajaman. So when we do the ritual, we invite the Purohit, worship the Purohit, honor the Purohit properly. And then when we take the Sankalpa, the whole Sankalpa is taken for whatever benefit we want to do the ritual. Then the Purohit helps to do all the ritual. He chants the mantras, he directs us what to do, what not to do. And then after the whole ritual is over, we have to give dakshina to the Purohit. Only when the dakshina is given, then the ritual which is done, it gives benefit to us. If we do some gadbad in giving dakshina, doesn't give it properly, then the result doesn't come to us. So this is a very beautiful system which is there in our Shastra. So they are the Purohits. So in the good old days, every king also used to have his own Purohit, Raja Purohit. Even the great Vashishta Rishi, the greatest Rishi, the mind-born son of Brahmaji, most wise and wonderful Rishi, Vashishta, he was Purohit in in Dasharath Maharaj's Darbar. In that Surya Vamsha, he was the Purohit. So when he was the Purohit appointed in the beginning, many generations before, so he asked his father Brahmaji that why you want me to be a Purohit? It's not a good job. I don't want to be a Purohit, doing all these rituals for these kings. Brahmaji says that you remain here because a most wonderful thing will happen. That Brahma, that Sakshat Ishvara, will take avatar in this Surya Vamsha as Sri Ram. And when you will be the Purohit in that, you will have the opportunity to teach Sri Ram and become a teacher. Means it is a nimitta. Ramchandraji already knows everything. But you can be a nimitta to teach him. And also do the rituals for him. His namakaran and all those rituals you can do. So it's a most beautiful, fascinating opportunity for you. And when Vashishta heard that, he said, yes, then I will stay. So Vashishta was the Raja Purohit of Surya Vamsha. Similarly, in the Devaloka, Brahaspati is the Purohit of the Devatas. Indra Bhagwan is the king and Brahaspati is the Purohit. So, the Purohits are always worshipped as Guru, as Shrestha, and without their advice, the king will not do anything. So, Brahaspati or Guru, Brahaspati is the Purohit of the Devatas. So, Bhagwan says that Brahaspati is my Vibhuti. Purodasancha mukhyam mam vidhi partha Brahaspatim. Hey Partha, you understand that the Mukhya Pradhan among all the Raja Purohits is Brahaspati, my own Vibhuti. So Brahaspati, about him also you can read in the Puranas, the various stories. So Purodasancha Mukhyam Mam Vidhi Partha Brahaspatim. One can meditate on Brahaspati as Ishvara's Vibhuti. Actually, within us also, our own buddhi is like Brahaspati. One can meditate on our own buddhi as Bhagwan's Vibhuti, which keeps guiding us. The buddhi, which has got a proper understanding of the scriptures, will constantly guide the mind, and the mind further guides the senses, and our whole actions and our life becomes proper. But one who doesn't take the guidance of their buddhi, insults the buddhi, then that person suffers in his life. So Bhagwan says, I am Brahaspati. Purodasancha mukhyam mam vidhi partha Brahaspatim. Senaninam aham skandaha. Among Senanis means among the Senapati. I am Skanda. See, we have the armies. Armies are there. Human beings, they have their army. The Devatas, they have their army. The Danavas, they have their army. Even the tiny little creatures, ants, they also have their own army. Because life is full of these conflicts. So one has to keep not only doing our work, but also constantly protecting, defending ourselves. Even in our body, we have the army, the white blood corpuscles. They act like army. We have our immune system. They are like army. Nowadays we are facing this pandemic. So we have to strengthen our army. Because when this virus, if they enter our system, then this immune system, they fight with them and destroy them. So army very important. Our own army of our own country also, they keep their vigil on the borders and all, and they keep any problem and all, they fight with the enemies. Even they sacrifice their own life in order to protect the country and all of us. So we should be very grateful to them and pray for them and express our gratitude to all of them. So among all this, army is led by the Senapati, the commander. So army is like a very powerful unit, and it has to be controlled by someone who can direct the power, the force properly. If there is no Senapati, then the whole thing will go haywire. Even in this Mahabharata war, the Pandava side, the Kaurava side, they had their own Senapatis, their own leader. Like in the Kaurava side, Bhishma Pitamaha was there. On this Pandavas, the Bhima was there. So this, among all these Senapatis, Bhagavan says, I am Skandaha. Skanda. See, the Devatas, they also have their Sena, Deva Sena. And the leader, the Senapati of this Deva Sena is Skanda, that is Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva. It's most powerful. Kartikeya. Born to Shiva and Parvati, the most fascinating and powerful son. See, Ganesh is also son of Shiva Parvati, and this Kartikeya is also. There are stories in Puranas about Kartikeya. There are even stories where Kartikeya becomes the teacher of Lord Shiva. And he is the Senapati. So Bhagavan says you can meditate on me, taking support of Kartikeya, on Skanda. There is a Skanda Purana also. So Senani Namaham Skandaha. See, Kartikeya was born itself to kill a Rakshasa. Because that Rakshasa had Tarakasur, I think, had the vow, the boon that he will be killed only by the son of Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva, after Sati gave up her body, Lord Shiva decided not to get married. He had taken a vow not to get married again. So when this Rakshasa came to know that Shiva has taken this vow, he also took this boon from Brahmaji that I should be killed only by Lord Shiva's son. So he thought that Shivji will not get married, he will not have a son, and I will never be killed. But Parvati did tapas for many, many years, and Shivji had to marry Parvati, and then this son was born, who then killed that Tarakasura. And later on, Skanda, Kartikeya, became the Senapati of the Sena army of the Devatas. So Senani Namaham Skandaha. I am Skanda among all the Senapatis. He is to lead them from front. Not like staying in some air-conditioned office and sending the soldiers to fight the battle. The Senapati will be there out in the field, leading the army and fighting the war. So Senaninam aham Skandaha Sarasam asmi Sagaraha. See, so many vibhutis, and that is the main thing in this 10th chapter. Bhagavan is telling us again and again that I am present in this whole world. The whole world is my expression. And you can meditate on me, taking the support of this world. And he is giving some glorious expression of his vibhutis. which we can meditate upon to come closer to Ishvara. So he says, Sarasam asmi sagaraha. Sarasa are the lakes, or you can say natural lakes. Devakhatani saransi, which are created by Ishvara. Huge water bodies. So there are different lakes, but among all of them, the greatest one is the Sagar, the ocean. See, we have the lakes and ponds and rivers and all on the land. But all these rivers and everything flows into the ocean. And this vast ocean is there. The Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, the Antarctic Ocean, and our Indian Ocean, the only ocean having this name of the country, Indian Ocean. Huge ocean. The waters in the oceans are so much. Luckily, a lot of this water is in the form of ice in the Arctic and the Antarctic region. But once this ice melt, then the entire earth will get submerged in water. Even now, lots of ice are getting melted due to global warming. And the sea level is slowly rising. And as the sea level rises, a lot of land near the sea will get submerged. The ocean is the most fascinating vibhuti of Bhagwan. If you go near the seashore and all, the beach, you see the glory of that ocean, the huge waves rising and falling, and wherever you look there is water and water alone. If you are flying above the ocean, you will see wherever you look water, 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 water everywhere. This Pacific Ocean and all is so deep, about 13 kilometers, I think, deep at one place. The whole Mount Everest can be submerged into that ocean. Mount Everest is about 8.8 kilometers tall, can be submerged into the ocean. So much water. So vast, so fascinating. And there are so many different creatures living in the ocean. And always in different mood, that ocean. Sometimes looks very calm, sometimes very violent, vigorous. You can see tsunamis in the ocean. See, we keep pouring all sorts of dirt into the ocean in these modern times. All pollutants, plastics and industrial waste and all sorts of waste we pour into the ocean. And then the sea creatures, they also get contaminated. They get caught up into these nets and these plastic bags, and they suffer. So at times ocean gets really annoyed with human activities, and it scoops the bottom of itself and throws it into the land. When the tsunami and all happens, the whole ocean gets as though churned and throws all the dirt back on the land. So this vast ocean with so much of power and strength is Bhagwan's vibhuti only. One can sit in front of an ocean, or can just sit and imagine, bring that picture of an ocean and meditate on it as Ishvara, as Ishvara's Vibhuti. So Sarasam Asmi Sagaraha. Bhagavan says, I am Sagara. Again in the Puranas, the story is there that how the king's sons, Sagar, King Sagar, his sons, they had gone in search of the horse which got stolen when he was doing the Rajasuya Yajna. So they explored the entire world everywhere in search of the horse, and they started digging everywhere. So the place where they dug, it got filled with water, and that's how the ocean was born, Sagara. So different stories are there. So Bhagavan says, Senani namaham skandaha sarsam asmi sagaraha. Among all these water bodies, I am the ocean. Further, Bhagavan says, Maharshinam bhruguraham giramasmekam aksharam yajnanam japayajñosmi stavaranam himalayah. Some more vibhutis. Bhagavan says, among the Maharshis, Maharishis, as I said, Rishis are mantra drashtaraha, those who see the mantra, those who have seen the mantras of the Vedas, means those Rishis to whom these mantras got revealed. The Rishis are the seers of mantras, not the authors of mantras. The mantras don't have authors. The mantras are not written by anyone. The Vedas are eternal, the Vedas are beginningless. This whole concept, people talk, Vedic period and all those things are all false, because Vedas are eternal. Some historians and all, they keep trying to figure out the dates. The Rig Veda was first, and then some other Vedas, and this Upanishad was before, and that Upanishad came afterwards. And all these things are just stories. They are not accepted traditionally. Vedas are eternal, the Upanishads are eternal. Of course, at a certain period in time, they got revealed to different rishis, and they got also later on got written on different what you call barks and all. But they are eternal. So among all the rishis who are there, who have seen the Vedas, Bhagavan says, I am Maharshi, among all the Maharshis, Maharishis. Among all the Maharishis, I am Bhrigu, I am Bhrigu Rishi. About Bhrigu Rishi also, the Puranas, they tell stories. There is Bhrigu Samhita, and so many mantras dedicated, revealed through Bhrigu Rishi. Bhrigu has written a Samhita which gives the what will happen in future also. He has revealed the life of all beings who will come in future. It's a very secretive and mysterious text, Bhrigu Samhita. And this Bhrigu Rishi was the one who even went to test Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, that who among them is the greatest God. Is it Brahma? Is it Vishnu? Is it Mahesh? So when he went to Brahma, he didn't accept him as the greatest God. even Lord Shiva, Bhrigu was not very satisfied. And even Vishnu Bhagwan, when he went, he was not very happy. And he got so angry that he just kicked Vishnu Bhagwan on his chest. And Vishnu Bhagwan just held on to his feet. He said, I am very sorry. Something made you angry. And I will hold on to your feet, close to my heart, because only by the blessings of great Maharshis like you, everything becomes good for us, Devatas also. So then Bhrigu Rishi, when he saw this great forgiveness, compassion, mastery over anger of Vishnu Bhagwan, Bhrigu Rishi was very pleased and he said Vishnu is the greatest of all the Devatas. And Vishnu Bhagwan still carries the mark of Rishi's foot on his heart. So like that stories are there, which shows the greatness of these Rishis. See, even when a Rishi gets angry or Rishi is hurting, is indirectly blessing us only. We should hold on to that Rishi's feet, and take blessings from them. So Maharshinam Bhriguraham Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam. Bhagwan says, among all the letters, Vacham, Padalakshananam, Ekam Aksharam Omkaraha Asmi. Among all letters which are uttered, Bhagwan says, I am Om. That Ekakshara Om. See, we have this in Sanskrit, it's called Devavani. We have so many vowels and the consonants are there. And various mantras, they are written with these letters. And among all those letters, expressions, Bhagwan says, I am Om. Om is called Ekakshara Mantra. Om. And through this Om, that Ishvara alone is indicated. Om Tat Sat. Om Iti Etad Brahma. In Mandukya Upanishad also, Om Iti Etad Aksharam Idam Sarvam. Tasyopavyakyanam. Bhutam Bhavat Bhavishyaditi Sarvam Omkara Eva. Yachanyat Trikalatitam Tadapyomkara Eva. Everything is Om, Om, Om. So Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam. Om. So one can chant Om and meditate on that Om as Ishvara. Tad Japaha Tad Arthava Bhavanam. In Yoga Sutra also, Patanjali Rishi, he says this Omkar is the Vachaka, the name of Ishvara. Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. Tad Japaha Tad Arthava Bhavanam. One should do japa of that Om and do bhavana on the meaning of that Om. Om, you can chant and meditate on Ishvara. So most fascinating that Om. We will see more about that Omkar also tomorrow, and then the other beautiful Vibhutis. Okay? So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, contemplate on what you have heard, meditate on the various vibhutis of Bhagwan, and be happy and peaceful, and we meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Boli Syav Ramachandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.